Hey there, YouTube. Did you miss me? Really am giving. Oh, there's my other saying. Hold on. It took me a very long time to get this video together, and clearly I have ADHD because, you know, I had videos in the bank, and I was like, yeah, I can get one done by October. And then August came and went, and September came and went, and now it's October, and I am recording the video today, October 31st. And if all goes well, as planned, I will release it today. It's been a rough couple months. Please give your boy some slack. Lord. So, I've been thinking a lot lately about disability. Like, I'm coming to terms with the fact that it is a disability, the autism that I have, that it does make my work life and my home life and my social life so much harder. And some of it's me, some of it's me just not being able to navigate the world like a normal person. But some of it's y'all, some of it's neurotypicals, and I'm gonna get into it, because y'all really don't make space for autistics. And that's what this video is gonna be about. This video is going to be about autistics struggle with, like, a healthy relationship to those in their community, and what the community can do to be more welcoming to autistics. Because I am struggling, and that's one of the biggest reasons I'm struggling, and I know I can't be the only one. I can't be the only autistic out here, feeling completely displaced in their community. I can't be the only one. I can't be the only one. So that's what this video is about. That's who it's for. And yeah, let's get into it. Have you ever felt alone in a crowd? Do you find it hard to connect with others as though there were some sort of rule book to socializing that everyone else studied from, but you never got your copy? Do you feel strange and abnormal, at times almost inhuman? Do you find yourself unable to initiate friendships or even get to the point in the conversation where you're exchanging phone numbers with somebody? Do you feel as though you're out of sync with those around you in every conversation? That's how I feel, and I'm not alone in that. Hey y'all, my name is Arthur. Welcome to I Dream of Entropy, the YouTube show where I overshare and show my work. Autistic folks, despite what media would have you believe, aren't all 11-year-old boys. Autism spectrum disorder, ASD, affects as many as 1 in 5 adults in the United States. Autism, for those who are unaware, is a developmental neurological disorder that affects, among other things, one's ability to socialize with others. Add a little bit of, a Chinibio delusional streak. I was particular about everything. I was a picky eater. I don't just mean I'd refuse veggies. Food textures and tastes would make me ill, to the point of food avoidance. This is called avoidant restrictive food intake disorder, or ARFID. It's very common in autistics, so, the buttered noodles meme, it's a real thing. I walked through the house on my tiptoes, I leaned forward often, rocked back and forth until I was ridiculed out of it. Most of my social learning happened that way. I wouldn't understand things intuitively, or why people did things. I was simply told that what I was doing was wrong. And, as a small child, I was pretty successful socializing with my peers, but then, in middle school, everything changed. Yeah, that rule book I was talking about eventually got distributed among my peers. They understood things I didn't. Suddenly, I would be excluded from conversations, talked over, and not understanding why people were laughing at the things I would say. I would be bullied regularly, and it would take me an embarrassingly long time to catch on. I watched every friend that I had until that point become a stranger or a nemesis. And the ones who stayed, they were likewise victims of bullying, and later I'd find out they were also neurodiverse. We don't like to think of it as bullying as adults, but autistics still experience alienation. Most folks don't know when they're speaking to an autistic person with low support needs. They just know that they're weird. According to the National Institute of Health, studies conclude that neurotypicals make quick judgments of autistics within seconds based on social quirks of the autistic individual. These would be things like eye contact, gesture, timing, word choice, tone, and would perceive these individuals to be odd. These first impressions often affect their interactions with autistic individuals adversely, making them more suspicious of and less likely to engage with them in the future. Autistics are not favored by neurotypicals. The same article, which cites the same study, claims that autistic adults have fewer friendships, more difficulty with employment opportunities and maintenance, higher rates of loneliness, poorer quality of life than their neurotypical peers, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. When you think about it, we don't live in a meritocracy. We live in a series of clubs, and if your vibes determine if you're in or out, autistics won't pass the vibe check more often than not. Of course, having difficulty socializing makes your life harder in a society designed to bolster the popular person over the qualified person. Looking directly at you, RFK Jr., you kissed the right rectum and now we all suffer. Neurotypicals have a general distrust of autistics because of their autistic traits. It might not seem like bigotry, but it is prejudice based on ignorance about a group sharing a disability. We're aware that we're odd. Even those of us with a little bit of charisma lose out because it's more difficult for us to be given accommodations for our autism. If your autism isn't obvious at a glance to an untrained neurotypical person, you won't be believed. Even if accommodations can be made, your employer gets to decide what is and isn't reasonable accommodations. Good luck getting accommodations for your vibes being off and not making eye contact with strangers dozens of times a day. What's the consequence of navigating a world that expects you to perform socially, but won't give you the opportunities you need to do so? For some, the consequence is their lives. Over 60% of autistic adults report suicidal ideation. Adults with ASD have 3 times the suicide rate of neurotypicals. Being left out as an adult when you rely on your community for survival, especially in times like these when money is tightening and eating costs money, looks like this for a number of autistics. It isn't just being ignored, it's being erased. Human beings need social support. It's integral to our survival, and the pain of social ostracization is real. So, what's my motivation for telling you all this? I want this to be positive. You're not alone. Because I know I'm not the only one, so you can't be the only one either. I know how lonely it can be when the entire world seems inaccessible to you. I know how defeated you can feel when you throw yourself behind a job and burn yourself out, only to not receive grace from your employer. I know how it feels to wish you weren't here. I see you because I am you. And if you want to info dump in the comments, feel free. I always enjoy learning something new. And that's the great thing about autistics is I always learn something new. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I wish we lived in a world where autistics were more appreciated. For those of you having a difficult time right now, I'm going to urge you to call a support line or a friend or a loved one that you can speak to if you're in a safe place to do so. Your life is more important than watching the rest of this video. Please get in touch with a professional who can help you, or a trusted friend or loved one. If you are in an unsafe place, please get somewhere that is safe and then make the necessary phone calls. I know that resources are also drying up because of what's happening right now. Don't let that discourage you. Your life has value. Please stay. Trust me, there will be times that it'll all make sense and all seem worth it. If you stick it out. I promise. And for neurotypicals watching, wondering what you can do to make autistics feel like more included, allow them the floor in the conversation a couple times. Yeah, they might kill the vibe, just give them some time to feel included. Explain to them, what is going to be at an event. Whether or not it's going to be overstimulating for them, allow them the time to collect the necessary supplies like noise-canceling headphones or something to fidget with. If they know they're going to be uncomfortable there, or you are aware of something that will make them uncomfortable while they're there, just look out for your friends and give autistic folks the opportunity to show you what kind of people they are, because I promise you, they'll surprise you. You'll learn things you've never learned before, because autistic folks tend to obsess over things, learn everything there is to learn about them, and they love talking about it. I mean, that's my experience, at least. I love talking about the things that I'm interested in. I love aquariums. That's a hobby of mine. I've got so many interests. I've got, art, of course, is an interest of mine. I love comics. Every time I get into a new TV show, I'm really fixated on it, and there's just... Autistics are some of the most worthwhile people you'll ever meet, and you'll never know if you don't give them the opportunity. Because at the end of the day, it's only socializing. That's it. That's the barrier between us and y'all. It's just social norms that you picked up intuitively that we can't. And as somebody who's been masking for years, I can't memorize every possible social scenario in every script and not experience burnout to the point where I can't perform them. I understand how to talk to you people, I just can't always do it. And that's the really frustrating part, is I see where the disconnect is. I'm just aware enough to see where I'm screwing up. I've learned enough where I can see where I'm messing up, and I just can't compensate sometimes, and it's very difficult. It's difficult living with a disability. And it's especially difficult when, the support you get is so minimal. If you don't pass a vibe check, you just don't get to talk to people. You don't get to make those connections or those friendships, and you tend to miss out on opportunities. It's not what you know, it's who you know, You're passed up for opportunities at work. You're passed up for opportunities socially. It's not a very good experience, being on the outside of society, not being able to access things because you just didn't make your charisma check. Sorry to throw D&D into this, but I'm an autistic, sue me. And there are introverted autistics, don't get me wrong. There are autistics that love spending time alone, and that is what they would rather do, and sometimes they just don't have the energy required for maintaining friendships, and that sucks. But at the end of the day, nobody can make it alone. We need community, and we need friendships. And I'm gonna tell you, there are a lot of autistics that don't even have family to fall back on. I'm one of them. you know, because I happen to also be queer and autistic, so that makes familial alienation even more likely, and it did happen. So really, the only opportunities I've got to make the connections that will help me navigate my life are through friendships, through connections that I make socially. And that's hard to do for neurotypical adults who have that rule book, who understand how to socialize intuitively. I ain't got that. I've just got to make the vibe check every time and hope that I'm not too burnt out from work or whatever I'm doing to make that vibe check. Because I know, once y'all get to know me, I'm a fun person. I'm real fun. I've also got a bit of a clever streak when I'm feeling good enough to be clever. I'll be making jokes. Not in this video, but I'll be making jokes. You don't even know. You don't even know what you're missing out on. I'm also not somebody who would judge someone for something that is a bit odd socially. A lot of judgment from neurotypicals about things that, even if they themselves, right, don't consider this thing to be bad or, like, have aspects of that themselves, like queer neurotypicals who, you know, are in the closet. Why? I don't understand that. That's probably why I came out so young. That's probably why, you know, I realized all these things about myself. You know, I'm able to intuit things about myself and not think about the social repercussions of it. Honestly, some of the most accepting people you'll ever meet are going to be autistics. I know that I sound like I'm just like trying to sell friendship with an autistic, but I mean, have you ever met a group of people with more to give, more in need of that friendship? Like, I haven't. Autistic folks are great. Sorry, I keep forgetting that this is an old YouTube and I can't use that F word too often. So I'm trying not to sound like I grew up in a Navy town. You know, the funniest thing, I had plans for Halloween today. Because, you know, I love Halloween. It's my favorite holiday. You know, you can dress up. You can go to parties and get liquored up. There's an excuse to even be a little slutty. I like Halloween. It is one of my favorite holidays, and, you know, it's not explicitly for the gays, but it is about us. It's our holiday. So, you know, if hey, y'all have, what is it, Christmas? Maybe that's a straight holiday. It's kind of not, though. It's very flamboyant and colorful. There's a lot of pageantry to Christmas. I'm sure you straights have something. Also, I'm doing that bisexual thing where I call myself gay. Be sure to correct me in the comments. This is the point of the video where the script has run out, and I didn't talk slow enough. So now I've got to fill the air, because I do want to show off my drawing skills, because this is an art channel at the end of the day, and I want to share more with you, you know, than just the things that are on my mind. So I guess I could talk about what I'm doing here. I'm doing some value studies, and facial anatomy studies, picking a few just random people's faces off Pinterest and just copying. Like, that's how I do my studies. I just pick some images that are interesting to me, that have what I'm trying to learn, and try and duplicate it as best I can, see what I can learn from it, and then apply it to my art the next time I get to making something. And I thought, you know, the study would be something I wouldn't be concentrating too hard on. It's something that's easily shareable while talking about a topic like this. I know I got a little bit heavy with y'all, and I appreciate you sticking around through that. But I don't know. I don't see a whole lot of people talking about it. And I feel like if a lot of people were to talk about it, they'd kind of get made fun of, like, oh, it's the lonely man epidemic, but it's not. It's a different problem. Like, this isn't just you know, I'm not expecting more than what neurotypicals get automatically. You know what I'm saying? I am expecting equal treatment to neurotypicals. Pretty please. I would like the same opportunities. I don't want extra opportunities. I don't want, women who are uninterested in me to talk to me anyway for fear of being harassed the way that, a lot of these misogynistic men want. It's not that kind of entitlement, y'all. Because I've tried to discuss this with people in my community, and I don't know why I can't get... It's because nobody likes to feel like they're a bully. Nobody likes to feel like they're excluding anyone. Nobody likes to feel like they're treating somebody differently for something they can't control. I understand. Especially in the trans community. Nobody wants to be that person. But some of y'all are. Like, y'all can be mean girls, even. I have something of an experience with mean girls, and y'all can be very mean. Shoot, my girlfriend was ostracized. Lord, that word is so difficult for me. Because of her mental health problems. Like, everybody talks about being inclusive until somebody has a disability and needs that disability to be accommodated in certain settings. And I'm not saying that every single party has to cater to neurodiverse people or, disabled people, but can some of the functions be for us? Like, can we have something, anything to make the function seem like we are allowed to be there and we are thought of? It irritates me that the only place to meet other queer folks is a bar. A loud, noisy bar with drunk people and, weird light shows and... Oh, Lord, I haven't even gotten into the seizure things. Like, if you're somebody who experiences seizures and you want to experience nightlife, good luck. Like, people do not think about those with disabilities when they're creating third spaces. And I just wish we had more third spaces. I wish we had more spaces where we could exist in society and, interact with our peers in a meaningful way. Build those connections so that the next time we're moving and maybe we need friends to help us move so we don't have to rent an entire truck, that can happen. Or the next time, our community is in some other kind of need and we have a skill we can provide that because we have connections to people who will ask us for that help. Like, there's nothing, we stand nothing to lose and everything to gain by including neurodiverse and disabled people. I think that's it. I think that's the entire point of the video that I'm trying to get across. Like, to be more positive about this. I want to live in a world where everyone's included. And I know, good luck, right? Especially in the political climate we're in right now. Like, I'm gonna get into a little bit of lore about me. I am an old fella. Well, not old. I'm old by internet standards. I'm 31. I'm a millennial. I have vague memories of 9/11. So I remember things a little bit differently. Like the way that things are right now, very unusual. Very unusual. Things looked as though they were progressing. It looked like we were living in a more egalitarian society every year, and I was bracing for a time when I was going to get mine, you know what I mean? Instead of everything being just so economically difficult, socially difficult. I have to, like, people have to pass a vibe check before I drop the mask in front of them, because I'm stealth at work. Nobody knows I'm transgender. Until I get to know them well enough and I know that they're cool. And even then, right? Even then, they'll do this thing where they completely degender me, and it's like, nothing has changed. I have always gone by the same set of pronouns. It didn't change just because you learned that I'm trans. I don't know. It's a mess. This whole thing is a mess. And I just can't wait till it's over. Like, I just want it to be over. Because again, we stand only to gain from inclusivity. We stand only to gain from allowing everyone participation in our society. It just sucks, you know? It sucks that we gotta work this hard, but the work's there and we need to do it, you know? Nobody is going to save us. And I know that's not a very comfortable thing to hear, but if we want these things, if we want community, we have to make it. If we want opportunity, we have to make it. And if we want to be included, we have to fight. We have to be heard. We have to make sure that there's an autistic person in the room. Do you know how many places, I go where they're talking about autism, and the autistics in the room just simply are not given any opportunity to talk about their own issues? I swear, it's all self-congratulatory, people praising themselves for being able to stand us for 5 minutes. Like, everything that I see, these inspirational movies about autistic children, right? And then the autistic adult is at the movie interview, being talked over and being dismissed, and it's endlessly frustrating. Because just because somebody doesn't have the charisma doesn't mean they shouldn't have an opportunity to speak. It doesn't mean they have nothing to say. Sometimes just letting them have the floor for a few minutes means the world to a person. And that could be the difference. That could make the difference between them, feeling as though they're completely alone in the world and not. And feeling like they have community and that there is a future for them and a place for them, Because a whole lot of us just feel like there ain't no room. Because y'all don't leave us any room. Give us some room, please. I promise you won't regret it. And you'll be able to see what neurodiverse people can do. And it's not just about that. Like, it's not just about us being useful, which we are. Everybody deserves a place in society, no matter their ability. Like, there is no reason for us to not accommodate everyone. There's no reason to not have resources for everyone who needs them. Not in the richest country in the world. Like, you're kidding yourself if you think America, the country,
can't afford food stamps for its citizens that need them. Can't afford Medicare for all. Can't afford these things. That is a joke. It's a joke. And we should all be laughing because, like, really, you're gonna tell us, you're gonna look me in my eyes and tell me that we're broke while you give bailouts to your corporate buddies. You're gonna tell me we're broke while you send, like, weapons, instruments of death to another country to commit a genocide. You're gonna tell me that we're broke? Don't kid me. Don't kid yourself. We're not broke. We've got the money to care for everybody. The good world is rich and can provide for everyone. I've been thinking about that lately. The greatest speech ever made. They kicked Chaplin out of the country. Did you know that? For being a communist? Scary. Scary, the world we live in. But he was right, you know? He was right. The good earth is rich and can provide for everyone. And we have the power to do it. We have the power to make life enjoyable, not just in this survival mode that we're in. We have every opportunity to make life enjoyable. We just have to share. That's all it is. We just have to share resources, share time, share, you know, like, the floor with some people every now and again. And if Americans, particularly, were more apt to share, things would be different. I don't know. I don't know if I'm imparting any wisdom on you right now, or if I just sound like a tool. I'm sure you'll let me know in the comments ad nauseum. Especially since I give the delivery of an autistic and pick the special interest of an autistic. I'm sure whatever y'all think, you're gonna let me know. Love y'all. The internet is a place. I'm sure even now, as I'm careful with my words, somebody is going to find a problem with them or maliciously misunderstand me, which is great because I already have an intense social anxiety about being misunderstood. Probably because I'm autistic. That's the really messed up part, is being anxious in social situations is something that makes you fail a vibe check, right? And people tended to, you know, alienate and bully me because of that. And so that made me socially anxious, which then contributes to the bullying. It's really funny. It is really funny when you think about it. I mean, funny to me, but also kind of sad. Which I guess is okay. You know, some of these turned out pretty well. I think I've got a good eye for facial anatomy now. As you can see from the cartoon of myself where I emphasize my weak-ass chin. Weak-ass chin boys, solidarity. Let me know in the comments how weak your chin is. But yeah, I think that's all that I've got to share. That's everything on my chest for now. Y'all have a wonderful Halloween, and I'll see you in the next one.
It's so dumb. I can't believe my fang fell out. Yeah.